2023 ProBots Sideloaded. Yes, not season 2, Sideloaded. This is a different kind of ProBots. And this is where we see that depending on the seating, the bots are placed in different places. So this is the last ProBots of 2023, and we're going to make it a doozy. As always, I am super happy here as your producer to bring you another season of ProBots, and the team has worked really hard to make it look special. If you look around, as you can see, got new overlays, new skins. Everyone's upgrading. ProBots 2.0. But let's bring in the casters and have a conversation about it.
That's
My
us,
casters,
Endersource.
That is it.
Andy Ben and
Yes, there's nice new overlays. Draken is wearing the attire of a cult leader. Something like that.
I came back
All
from
new
Japan and
stuff
I had to.
Yeah.
I had everything.
It
Whole
looks,
new Draken.
good. It does match like the overlays a little bit. So it's going to be an interesting new format here to do it.
Yes.
So the seating matters a lot more now. And
we're
going to
see.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, but even before we talk about that, how does it feel to be back into ProBots after so long? I feel like it's been a dog's age since we've all gotten together. All three of us, anyways.
I don't think it's been that long, but maybe time is skewed for you. It's been like an extra week or something, but it's exciting to be here. Hopefully you're all excited to be here as well. We are here for our final season of 2023. As Drek said, side-loaded, and we've got a new format. We're going to be mixing it up a little bit. We're going to have 16 bots, 4 of which are already qualified, but they're waiting a little bit further down the line. We're going to talk a little bit about how this all is going to start out and the bots that we have to start it. From AIarena.net, we've got 12 bots that are competing for their place in the ProBots finals, groups, whatever you want to call it there. But we're going to start with the qualifiers. Endersword, tell us how a qualifier works.
So basically, we are now using the seeding from the bots on the AI ladder, which we always have done. But instead of the lowest bots playing like the highest from last season, which doesn't really give them a chance to shine, we're now pre-qualifying the top 4 into the group stage. And bots are going to be placed in a bracket that will allow them to then join those top 4 in the group stage later. So there is a round of 16, which will contain the 8 lowest bots sorted by seeding. The winners of that will come to face the bots seeded from 5th to 8th, and then ultimately the winners of that will go into the group stage.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's like round of 12 that it starts, right? Not a round of 16?
Yeah, so it's round of 16. Well, it's 16 total, but 4 are already, somewhere else. So 8 will play in the first week. 4 of those get knocked out, like tonight. Then the second week, the winning 4 will play the next 4 that were already pre-seeded into round 2. And then the winners of that will go into the group. So we'll lose 4 this week.
With
we'll lose
single, single
it's
elimination.
It's more brutal in the way that it's single elim, but then in another sense, it's a little less brutal because you're not like, welcome to the league.
Eris.
Here's Eris.
Yeah, you're not going against like the strongest bots right away, right? You're getting a chance to show against bots more your own skill, and our idea here is that we allow some of the bots an opportunity to go and show what they can do, because definitely in our regular format you do get really 3-0s. I mean, like 2-0s really easily because you're up against like Eris, Micro Machine, Sharpened Edge. So we thought this might be a good way to showcase right? To showcase some of the other bots that are on the lower ends of the ladder. So hopefully that.
Yeah, let's talk about the bots.
Better way to reward people too for their past performance as well. So
Oh, that too. Yeah, absolutely. And so like even as you guys are going to end up seeing is that since Eris has been the undisputed champion of ProBots for who knows how many, he has the first seasons. 4 seasons. And so he has first seed, and unlike other bots, if they change their seeding, if they change their bot, they lose their seeding. Eris being number 1, he keeps seed 1, and he's changed to Phobos. So we'll you guys will end up seeing when we go up is that it's not Eris this time. It is actually Team Eris.
Well, this is Rooro right here.
Yes, this is Rooro.
This is our first bot we're going to see tonight. Can we actually look at the full bracket tonight before we look at our bots competing? This will be our first match here, but
we'll go to the matches. We'll show the matches, and you can go from there.
Or that, the matches, the bracket. Here you go. That's what I wanted. That is exactly what I wanted here. So this is tonight's games, and this should be good. We've got some nice bots in here. Annie Bot has returned after like 5 or 6 season hiatus, it feels like. Oh, I thought that was Spud.
Yeah,
Sputtle. Is that a different bot?
Name. Sputtle?
So the story behind that is
Sputtle.
No. So Spud actually acquiesced his spot, and I don't know if this is ironic or if this was deliberate, but another author took his spot, and his bot's name is Sputtle. So I don't know.
Different author, though? That's hilarious.
Coincidence? Okay.
I don't know if it's a coincidence, because I'm guessing it actually isn't, because we used his AI Arena key. So I'm guessing this actually is his bot's name. It's just a weird coincidence that Spud and Sputtle sound the same.
Well, there you go. There you have it. We're going to be starting things off with Rooro and Smooth Brain, and then we'll have a lot of Zerg games. All best of 3s. Yeah, not
no
a Zerg.
Zergs.
Wow.
No Zerg. All Terran, all Protoss. Yeah.
Maybe this is the season of non-Zergs, finally.
I want to see if Blink blinks. Blinking is fun. Bot blinking can be quite good.
Indeed. All right, well, let's talk about our first match now. Thank you for pulling this up. Thank you, everybody, once again, for being here. Do check out all the links below us if you have just tuned in, and hit the thumbs up if you haven't already, so you can get us a little visibility on YouTube. And, hopefully we'll see you if you're a new author, making a bot and joining the scene here. All right, let's look at Rooro. Here he comes. Nope, that's not him. That's us. Hey, Undersword, how you doing?
I'm great. I'm great.
You ready for some bot matches?
Yes, I suppose I am.
What are you confused?
I suppose I always like seeing the new ones because we don't know what they're going to do. It's usually once we get like too used to bots, it's like easy to predict what's going to happen. But in these fights, I don't know enough yet. We've got some stats below, but and we'll pull up the individual stats in a moment. But below here, we do have their head-to-head matchup. So it is showing obviously advantage in Smooth Brain's favor. And here is Rooro with an ELO of 1844 and a portrait clearly drawn by like Da Vinci or something. And
cool.
Relatively, you often see, we always have to clarify for people, an ELO of 1844 is pretty good, but their ladder is divided. So often it looks like, well, they've got like a bad win rate, but it's that they've got a worse win rate against the top bots because it's like streamed. So there can be things with a lower ELO that have a higher win rate because they're in the bottom division. So to make sense of that.
And all these statistics come from AIarena.net. Go check out the ladder over there. They actually just wrapped up their season to qualify for ProBots. So that's how we have the bots here. So we'll be starting a new one up soon. Definitely go check it out. Check out all the different things going there. And here's Smooth Brain. We did see Smooth Brain last season.
Yes.
So coming back for round 2 here.
Yeah, making it.
I can't remember what he did though, at all.
Similar, I don't remember any specific builds or anything like that, but is consistently back here again. And we often see like there's often a huge difference too between 2 seasons. Like we'll see in season 1, it's doing like some pretty basic stuff and basic builds, and then you add sophistication on that. So it would be almost no good indicator anyway. So I was mentioning the head-to-head matchup there below. So on the ladder, these bots play each other constantly. And of course, they're able to make updates before joining in to ProBots, and are able to make updates through some of the different weeks. So you will see that sort of thing change. That often what you see reflected in their ladder games does not come to fruition when they come and play here. But yeah, it looks like obviously in Smoothbrain's favor historically.
Indeed. Well, we'll see what happens. We are just about to hop into our first best of 3. Hopefully you are all ready. Once again, hit that little thumbs up button below us to get us a little more visibility on YouTube and get more people in here. Now let's go ahead and kick things off with our first best of 3 here in our final season of 2023 ProBots. Let's go. Whoa.
Fancy.
Rooro. Smoothbrain.
So I can't turn off the game music without muting you, and I can't figure in our new program here. Do you know how to? It's really loud
I think
me.
it all comes. Yeah, I'll think. We were playing with that yesterday when we were testing.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I'll deal with it for now.
I've just turned my overall computer volume down, and I hear you louder than the game. But we'll see if people in chat there tell us how this is balancing, because yeah, we were trying to do that last night, but we don't have external viewers. But the good news is this is one of the first seasons that I can hear the game sound, which should help us with some of the casting.
And it looks good too.
Yeah, it does. Very often, if you're a veteran to watching this, very often in prior seasons, me and Andy are casting a 140p like pixelated mess. But now we can see it, now we can hear it, and there shouldn't be any lag issues, we're hoping, this year.
You know what I see, Undersword, is a barracks flying into Smoothbrain's main.
I see a large portion of cheesiness. Yeah.
This is a great way to kick things off here in Game 1. Rooro going for the proxy barracks shenanigans is going to get into Smoothbrain's base undetected for the time being. That's a lot more barracks coming down. That is a lot of barracks. All in.
Like, is he overdoing this a little? But I guess it doesn't matter. As long as you have enough mineral. Yeah, as long as you get enough minerals to just keep making Marines. Reaper does spot it relatively early. If it has any ability to, put down barracks or anything like that, then that's super helpful. But so far,
micro battle here.
Looks like,
let's see which Marine.
Yeah.
Oh, so wow!
Reaper
nice micro
with the assist from behind. Yeah, it's quite good.
This is how you got to do it if you're going to shut down this hardcore of an aggression. You really just got to kill those Marines as they pop out. So far, Smoothbrain hasn't lost a single Marine, a single unit, I don't think. Oh, is he going to be able to? Oh, he doesn't quite save that one on the left.
One low, and now we're getting a couple coming out at a time.
Yeah, this is going to start to snowball and escalate. Oh my god, we're going to have 6 barracks in the main. Rooro is putting on, I think, more pressure than I've ever seen a bot put on.
Yeah, this is a little crazy. It's definitely a little crazy, but again, he seems to have the minerals to support this, so it's going to be fine. The priority of what he's targeting, going after the SCVs first, may not be. I guess he maybe is making the calculation that he can't chase down the Reaper anyway, or it's just attacking whatever it sees, but it seems like it's going to work.
I think it's great he's not chasing the Reaper. With slow Marines like this, you do want to stutter step a little bit, but you also do want to just stand your ground and stay together. If you have your Marines start going off solo and willy-nilly, they'll get picked off by the Reapers if the Reapers start to get into too many numbers. So I think this was really nice. Rooro just beat out the mineral line, and that's it. That's game 1.
Yeah, looks like he's got it, obviously, even with the 2 bases here. I think there was he recognized it early, or at least saw it early, but didn't make the appropriate action, which would have been like trying to bunker up or something like that. Like a bunker and a tank maybe can hold this.
Yeah.
But he will end up falling because he started well. He was able to have like 3 units out to Rooro's 1, and but then it just got crazy and we ended up with 7 racks in there.
Yeah, I think if you just swap into Mass Reaper immediately,
Yeah.
you should be able to kite that well enough that you can clean it up.
Yeah.
Nicely done. Rooro looking to move on in a very quick fashion here. Does not want to give Smooth Brain a chance. And yeah, I guess now we know what these two bots are kind of going to do this season. Rooro is going to cheese his way to the round of 8. I'm predicting it right now.
It seems like that may be the case. So yeah. So we were mentioning before, obviously this ratio below of Smooth Brain winning 98% of the or 94% of the time may not be indicative. This may be a new strategy by Rooro. It may be map specific. One thing I don't know if we mentioned yet is we have allowed bot authors this year to do a veto on the map pool. So they can each pick a veto on which maps they do or do not want to play. Some of them are a little either buggier, worse pathing, or just have aspects to them that you may be weaker against, or that you don't want to bother to specifically code. So so allowing a veto here is going to give people the option to avoid some of those maps if they don't like them. But
I like
definitely. Yeah, I think it's good. And yeah, I'm wondering, we tend to alternate in seasons between kind of like hardcore cheeses and then long macro games. And we seem to kind of have an ebb and flow of people will find cheeses that are really, really good. And then people will kind of program in some defense for them. And then it will switch back to the long games again. And I don't know where we're going to end up this season yet again. I think as people get better at executing cheeses, it's going to become harder and harder to stop them. But if you can find a good stop for it, then
I think that's the way to go, though, because cheeses are a lot more unpredictable and harder to prepare for than standard. I'm just going to sit and bunker on one base. I'm going to sit and then bunker on 2 bases for a while. And then you're just, I'm not saying that's not a bad way to play, but it's just a little more predictable. And I think as the meta kind of starts to play out as seasons go on and on here, that kind of play will start to get punished more, because we've seen it get punished. Some of the more passive bots get punished by somebody all of a sudden getting 8 bases in the first 3 minutes to out macro them because they know they're not going to attack. Anyway, we've got game number 2 ready. We'll talk more about that in game here. Oh, just let's go.
Did the timer jump ahead on us? I thought we had more.
No, right when it hit 0, they were just like...
Okay.
Oh, chill.
Smooth Brain.
Oh, we're not muted also during intros there.
During that?
Didn't know that.
No.
Now he knows. All right, we are here on Golden Aura. Thank you, everybody, once again for tuning in. If you've just joined us, this is our first best of 3 of the night. We've got 4 in total, so stick around for a while. Tell all your friends that ProBots has started. We've got a brand new, exciting format. We'll talk more about it in between matches here. But here we go again with the proxied barracks cheese.
Yeah, the classic
shaping up nicely.
7 racks float. I wonder if the location will make a difference this time. I guess he's going to like surround it. The first 2 are like pretty close, so as soon as they start to go up, he's going to see it right away.
He actually might see it right away if they float right in vision there. Yeah,
pretty quick. Yeah,
I don't know. There's a chance they go more to the right.
Longer. He could drift over to the right. It would take a little bit longer. Yeah, let's see if he...
No, I think he's not going to be seen. I think he's fine.
No, he's going to stay out. Yeah, you're right. He's staying out.
Just barely out of the range. This is practiced. He knows where the barracks
he may know exactly the positioning of if he builds on the ramp. Yeah.
Wait, okay. No reaction, though.
He's unaware of it landed. The first Reaper, it looks like it's set to the base. Okay, yeah. So
there it is. Okay, so he knew. But will it matter? Again, a second base on the way. I think a factory's going to come down again soon here. Yep, there it is. And and that's not what you want when you're going to have 7 barracks in your base.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. You need something a little quicker. You really need a bunker. Like, you essentially need a bunker built sitting in the middle of the racks, so that you just have a fortified position the moment anything pops out, and it just can't accumulate. That's kind of the way to deal with it. Is he gonna stay ahead enough here?
He's doing a little bit better job, I think.
But yeah.
It's just going to be so hard. Like, you can kill 3 barracks worth, but
yeah.
It was what?
It was when he started to have like 2 pop out at a time, and when the Reaper starts to like have to retreat to heal, he started to lose Marines. But he is doing better. Just the positioning and everything is a lot better than he was. He's getting good grenades there too.
Gotta keep that Reaper alive.
Like, there
that
is
Reaper
a point.
Dies, it's over.
Yeah.
Yep, that's it.
Yeah.
What were you saying? There's a point. What? That's the point.
There's a point at which you stabilize. Yeah, exactly. Like, there's a point at which you stabilize. So you have 3 or 4 out that you're now kind of one-shotting everything that pops out, and then you could get, like, you're kind of in this long game of like that barracks hitting a double. It's the building the reactor. The reactor takes so long to build. You eventually get to 2 Marines, but it takes too long. You would be better off not doing that and just getting 1 at a time. And then, of course, this factory just never even finishes, so yeah.
Well, and that's unfortunate, because this is a nice build out of Smooth Brain to go up against a more standard play. Like, it's a really good build, but when you got barracks flying in your base like this, Rooro just coming in with all the aggression, wants to move on, and I think is going to. That should be it here. And again,
and I think it must be a surprise.
Yeah.
It must be a surprise to Smooth Brain, because again, he's performed really well against him on the ladder. So it must be something he's not seen before, because he's apparently, not that this is super, super greedy, but it's clearly like an economic opening. You know, you take your expansion, your whatever, and it just seems to have no real awareness that it's being cheesed. Like, it responds okay with the units it has, but none of the build is altered to deal with that. Produce more, no bunker. Like, I think a bunker holds. Like, if you just put that first 2 Marines and a Reaper in a bunker, I think that just holds. I don't think anyone gets through it. So, yeah.
Yeah, possibly. Well, and I don't think this was necessarily a snipe against Smooth Brain. I don't think the authors knew exactly who they were going up against when they submitted their bots. But
I don't. I think you're right. I think there's maybe, probably not a snipe for that.
You can kind of guess who you were going up against, but
you could see things like the floating barracks up. It was in the exact position that if somebody had built on the ramp, then you're out of sight. So there's some knowledge there. There's definitely some, but not necessarily that player. It's just kind of a Terran will do this, so I'm going to do this sort of thing. So, I mean, well constructed. I like it when people are just go overboard on stuff, and 7 racks, that's the way to be.
Yep.
That's
that was good. I love the aggression. I was just thinking that right before we started this season of what we're going to have more of. Are we going to see more of this aggression, or are we going to see a lot more macro games? Because to me, it seems like a lot of the top bots have really been going for that longer macro defensive, get up to 7 bases style, and they can do that very effectively. So they're used to proxies, worker rushes, things like that. These top bots have dealt with it all. So I don't know how well something like that will work against Micro Machine or a bot that can adapt and change its build style. I don't think we saw Rooro really adapt or anything. But
it's
anyway,
another one
match.
That, like, if you kind of like theory crafted against something like a Micro Machine or another bot, if that first Reaper wasn't defensive and just goes across the map, then do you lose all your SCVs? And now the 7 racks can't be building anything anyway. Like, so there's a lot of ways to deal with things like that. That I think some of the more like, just seasoned and well-rounded bots are gonna either know what to do or they're going to stumble onto it anyway because they tend to counter with aggression. But good little build.
Oh, you don't got to add time to the. They added time to the timer there.
They
I was
did
gonna
add
say we
time
got
to
1
the
minute.
timer.
Let's talk about Sharpened Edge, but now we got plenty of time for it. So let's talk about Sharpened Edge. We've got a new match coming up here, and now we've got 2 minutes to talk about it. Endersword.
Yeah.
2 whole
So
minutes.
here you go.
Sharpened
Edge, pretty much.
He's back.
Pretty much around since the beginning.
He's back. I'm excited to see Sharpened Edge go up against Sputtle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and,
Sputtle.
Sharpened Edge is really strong, has a great win rate, has played against the top bots for a long time, Micro Machine Tier, Catch Rock, all those. So definitely has some tricks up his sleeve, and I think Infi has been a little bit more active in updating Sharpened, obviously, doing well and getting into ProBots here, so there has to be some updates going on, but I'm excited to see what Sharpened Edge is going to bring here against a new bot who we've never seen before, Sputtle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There he is. Another Terran. A lot of Terrans this time around.
Yes, very Terran heavy. I think they're easy.
And Sputtle is a Python bot. In case you are unfamiliar with bot languages, Python is the most common and probably one of the easiest to make the bot in, right?
Yeah, I think has the most like libraries, and it was basically the first one. But I think I don't know this time around, but I think we've seen at least 8 different languages. Something like that. I think Python and C+ are probably the top 2. But we've got anything from Rust to Go to whatever.
A little bit of everything.
I think, yeah. I want to see one in BASIC. Every year I want to see one in BASIC that just operates on like a go-to line 10
Is
system.
that even still used in anything?
Probably not. I mean, it probably is underneath. I don't really know how these things. Everyone in chat would know better than me, but like some of these are like high-level languages that then recode in like lower-level stuff. But no, I don't think BASIC is still used. But
well, let us know in chat who you want to win. We've got our poll up. Take a little vote there. Who do you think is going to move on? Who do you want to win? Whatever you want to vote for. I think we're ready. Sharpened Edge versus Spud. Best of 3 here on ProBots. Let's go.
Sharpened Edge. Sputtle.
No vetoes, Endersword. There are no vetoes out of either of these bots. Now, we talked just briefly about it, but in case anybody missed that, the bots can veto this time around. So you get a veto per update or something like that. So when the updates are due for your bot, if you make it into the next round or whatever, you can add a map veto if there is a specific map you do not want your bot to play on. So make sure you check that out if you are trying to avoid a map or anything like that. That's just a little note to all the authors here. But no vetoes here. So Sharpened Edge and Sputtle don't care. They're cool with any map. Or they didn't know about the vetoes. It is a brand new thing, so that's why I say it, in case anybody missed that. But here we go. We actually have a few notes on Sputtle, one of the only bots that gave us notes here. He's a simple macro bot with bad micro. Flexibility in build orders. Potential future evolution into a Zerg bot. Okay. And that's kind of nice. We do see some random bots, so that'd be cool. Go ahead.
I'm not sure I like the characterization of evolution into a Zerg bot. Like it's better than the Terran bot, but maybe I would think too, if he's saying not a good microbot, the last thing you want to be is Zerg. That seems harder to me.
Oh, is it pronunciating Spudley or Spud?
Spudley.
Spudley.
Sputtle.
Spud-LE. Sputtle.
Spudley.
Let us know. Googleic. If we're absolutely butchering it, do let us know so I can fix any things. Anyway, here we go. We're gonna have a more macro game. We're gonna slow things down. No cheeses this time around in a sword. We've got Sharpened Edge going up to 2 bases. Spud as well, getting a 2nd base. And yeah, we're just going to go into a little bit longer game here. That's nice. Sharpened Edge can definitely handle the later game. So I think it's going to be a little bit more up to Sputtle to keep the pressure on and keep things in his favor.
This seems like good micro. Yeah, seem at least individual unit micro so far. I like what he's doing.
Oh, there you go. There's the not so good micro.
Yeah,
I
guess so. We'll get over there. Yeah, Sharpened Edge going with the shield battery at the top there. That's something, too, that is the mid-range part of the meta sometimes with cheese, is once you cheese enough, or like the meta shifts to cheese enough, then eventually the meta shifts to fake cheesing. Because with bots, you can basically find the point that you're triggering their cheese defense and then don't cheese. And then a lot of them will turtle up and like become passive and wait for an attack that's never going to happen. So we've seen a lot of people start to use that sort of thing. BenBot BC kind of relies on that.
Sniping.
It does like a bunker contain, but it's not meant. There's not a lot of investment in it. If you ignore it, it will complete and it will do a lot of damage. But either way, it forces a response, and it forces a lot of bots to just turtle up in one base. But it's really still macroing behind it. It's not an all-in or anything. So that sort of thing can be a good tactic as well.
Definitely. Oh, another Reaper coming in here. Decent micro. Looks like the Stalkers are going to pin it in here. But it does get a full little look at the base. Did it see? I don't know if it saw the Stargate. Because Sharpened Edge did decide to go for air. We saw the map. Yep, did not see it.
Yeah. And we're seeing an Oracle come. Oracle's historically terrible. But I think Sharpened Edge is one of the few that has made it work now and then.
Sharpened Edge and Sharkbot, I think, are the only two, really.
Yeah.
No, there was one other. Who else? Yeah. Somebody else got a really
There
good
was one that did it like a late game somewhere and got like 20 kills on it. Last season we had one that kind of came in from the side a few times and did okay.
Well, this one's going to come straight down the middle. Does see the Marines. We'll be able to avoid them as it's a little bit faster. And we'll see if we can get any worker kills here. It's a good way to start out. Just slow down the economy, get a little harass done, force the army to come back. You know, if Sputtle was halfway across the map pushing, this could potentially pull his whole army back. There's a lot of things that this can, a lot of responses this can force. Wow, we're going to get a lot of worker kills here.
Working pretty good now. There's always a problem when you go to the gas because they end up not killing them. But if it's been there too long, it eventually does take them all out.
8 kills.
8 kills.
This Oracle just made it into the Oracle Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that's probably the most successful early Oracle we've ever had. Yeah. And it seemed to have this like one tap policy. So yeah, quite good. Quite good. And now Sharpened Edge's army coming across. The army is more than twice the size. So this could be quite devastating here.
Yeah, that is not the best place to attack. That's going to be it. Sharpened Edge with a nice 2-base push. Sputtle not quite ready for it. Now, what was the... I forgot to look at the army supply. Well, I don't think there was even enough even if Sputtle had a good position up a ramp or something. Like, there was just...
No, it was like 14 to 39. Yeah, 14 to 39.
Here's why. Look in the base. We've got two starports, 2 barracks. We've got the factory. Yeah. There's a lot of investment into tech. So had this been given, I don't know, a minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes more, we'd see Banshees, we'd see maybe some tanks or something. But Sharpened Edge, attacking right before that window, is going to seal the deal here. We might have a quick night, Undersword. These bots are just killing each other so quick.
Yeah, they're not taking it to the macro. Sputtle obviously wanted it to go to the macro, but Sharpened Edge not allowing it. And
that would have been this would have been a really strong macro spot, I think, for Sputtle with 2 starports, Cloak Banshees. I don't think there was an Robo Bay out for Sharpened Edge, so
Yeah, no, I don't think so. He would have had to rely on like another oracle for detection or something like that.
Yeah.
Which is harder to do, obviously. But yeah, definitely decisive. Good timing attack by Sharpened Edge. Good use of the oracles to drive in there, and basically it turns out okay. To go after the gas there longer term would have hurt him. So I think that was good. But yeah, Sputtle just kind of built to try and get into a mid game and was taken out in the early game when he just didn't have enough to deal with it.
Yep. All right, well, we'll get the next game loaded up here. I'm looking at... Huh? Go ahead.
Gateway units are good when you don't... gateway units are good when you don't defend against
build
them.
enough of them.
If you only...
They're really good.
Yeah, if you only have Marines and stuff, then it's not good enough.
They're strong. Oh, yeah. For early game units, gateway units are probably amongst the strongest. I mean, they have shields. Come on. Yeah. What else do you need early game? All right. Someone was saying, good thing we have the micro ladder for practice now. So that is a good little note. Yes. Go check out aiarena.net. There are multiple competitions that you can get involved in. And I hope that means that people are using the micro ladder. That was a little creation of mine and someone else's. And go check it out. Get your bots made. We've got a template below us that you can go make your own bot. And you can also play against these bots. I think we have a link somewhere to download a client to play against a few of these bots. And check it all out. It's good stuff. All right, anyway, End of Sword. Are you ready for game number 2 here? Do you think Sputtle will be able to go up against the likes of Sharpened Edge and turn things around here?
We'll see. I mean, we'll see if Sharpened Edge does that sort of opening again and goes for the throat. I kind of want to see what happens in the slightly longer Sputtle game, but it's always a matter often of, do bots change their tactics based on a loss? And many of them do, but often some of the newer bots, they don't have the multiple builds built in yet and just kind of do the same thing. So we'll have to see what this is.
Find out.
I do hope we get to see a later game.
Let's go. Game 2.
Sharpened Edge. Sputtle.
Do you think a 4-year-old could play StarCraft? I'm sure.
Probably.
I think there's probably some 4-year-olds out there that can play.
Have to start before that. Well, I think even some, I don't know how old he was. DJ Wheat used to do a little series where he taught Mini Wheat how to play, but I don't know how old he was. But he was definitely a little kid, but I don't know how old he was.
Interesting. All right, well, here we are on Gresvan. And we do have I think we have a new map pool. Wait, do we have a new map pool this season? I know they were working on getting new map pools.
Some are the same, but there is a bunch.
We got a couple new ones here for this season?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I think this is one of the new ones. We just saw, I think, Golden Order. That was in the last season, but this one's new.
Yeah, I saw this and I was like, wait a second. This looks new. All right. Well, we got the probes scouting around. We are going to go into a little bit more of a 2-base scenario against Sputtle. Has the edge this time. No pun intended. Is going to be getting that second base a little bit sooner than Sharpened Edge. Well, Sharpened Edge just doing a little bit safer 1 gate into Cyber there, and then probably an Nexus right after that. Just so you can get the stalker out and scout around. A lot safer play here out of both these bots. And again, it all depends what you want to do. It's all about risk and reward. You can make your bot be really aggressive like you saw last series, and it can work really well. But it can also fall flat on its face against a little bit more of a seasoned bot. So that's where stuff like this might be a little bit better, where you go a little bit into the safer play, 2-base build of some kind. I like 2-base all-ins. Those are probably my favorite builds.
Yeah, that's kind of the crisper, nice This is
just
little
enough to push it through. It's a little wet.
Yeah, it's not quite a rush, but it's like it's a timing sort of thing. I was just going to comment that here Sharpened Edge is not building at the ramp this time. So likely is doing something a bit different. We're not going to get a shield battery at the front this time around, and he seems to have the Reaper a little more contained, a little quicker. So there's always
totally wrong.
A thing. So here we see a Tempest Rush. Okay. There's always something too that can happen when you cheese or are aggressive early, whether you're really cheesing or not, is sometimes you can essentially provoke the enemy to make units and stuff that end up killing you. So we've seen that happen a number of times. Get two weirdly stuck units there. But yeah, we've seen that a number of times where someone like comes in with like say early lings, and that forces a bunch of early defense from the opponent, that then they immediately, as soon as the attack stops, march that army across the map and kill you with it. So you sometimes have to worry about that.
Can we go back like 5 seconds? Did Sharpened Edge block his own unit in, but then cancel a building to let it out? Did I see that right, or did I imagine that? I might have just made that up.
I definitely saw that something was like blocked there.
Because you said something was stuck, and then I thought I saw something like cancel and then
rebuild. It was the probe and I didn't see that. The probe and the stalker were hitting each other. Yeah, I'm gonna have
to go back and check that, because if so, that's how I don't think I've just it's kind of a random small thing, but cool. I don't think we've ever seen a bot have that kind of foresight to be like, oh, my unit's stuck. Let me cancel and get them out and then rebuild. You know, it seems simple, but it would be a lot of steps to identify that and then not break your build by canceling and then having to rebuild something because you might not have enough money. There's just a lot of variables that can go into something like that. Anyway, Tempests are out. Here comes Sputtle. I don't think Sputtle really cares that he saw Tempest. The Reaper was there scouting, but I don't think it changed anything about his build. Marines just abandoned the tanks completely.
The Marines are, absolutely.
You're on your own. We're going
like just to an absolute random location. Area. We are going anywhere that is not defending you.
I mean, that's smart, and there's a Tempest there. I wouldn't want to go up against that thing. We'll see if this is enough to kind of break through. It's definitely going to be a lot of harassment, but actually the Marines might have done the right thing, because now they're going to be able to catch the Tempest from behind a little bit. Will it be enough DPS to be able to take it down there? The shields are going down. The Banshee is out, but it's not engaging anything. This is kind of a wild fight. Here comes the second Tempest. That's it. Yep.
They're doing the.
It was going to be close if there was only one Tempest. Huh?
Yeah. They're doing the classic example we often see things screw up with. And Tempests have never really been solved, to be honest. But part of it is the passivity of units. Is any human player coming from behind on a Tempest with Marines would run the Marines directly below the Tempest and start firing away. Every bot stays at max range and pulls back and stutter steps like 80 times and tentatively approaches it every time, and that's just not going to cut it.
Oh yeah,
and there's got to be a way.
For seasons.
Yeah,
how hard it is.
It's the tentative nature of it. And part of the problem is almost the lack of knowledge of the range differential. The thing is, you attacking and then pulling back when the unit that you're doing it to has a range of 9, but you have a range of 5, is like, it doesn't make any sense. But it is, it's super hard. It's super hard to program that in as something to do. It just basically means it's going to shoot you on the way out. It's going to shoot you again on the way back, and then you'll get one shot off. Whereas if you run under it, you can kill it. Yeah,
because we're actually kind of seeing the opposite here, where the Vikings are staying just out of the Tempest range, so they're not able to. Even they were getting a couple shots off, but now they're just staying out of it.
Yeah, and when we've seen success with Vikings, what we see is almost, again, the opposite of who does that really well is very often Ketrog, who kind of knows when he's got a critical mass of Vikings that just YOLO in and say, like,
oh yeah, he's
I'm
got
not
a specific
kiting
code
anymore.
that even says YOLO something and just like goes for it. So.
Yeah. And I think whatever that is, like Marines kind of need to know that sort of thing too, of like when, if you go, you go. Like
so
no
hard
one,
to make that judgment.
And a lot
though.
of, yeah, it is. I think they figured it out for some of the tank stuff, because we used to have that problem where people would dance on the edge of tank range, and they would like dance into the range, get shot, and be like, "Oh, too close," and run back out. Now they don't tend to do that as much, but we still get it a lot with air units.
Yeah. Well, and the terrain makes it really hard, because what if all of a sudden the Tempest then goes up a cliff, over a cliff, and then you can't reach it?
And
it
does, and it does, but that's
so
exactly
hard.
why you get under it, right? Because if you don't get under it, and you're 10, you're 10 clicks away, and now it goes up a cliff, you can't get to it at all. Whereas if you charged under it, you can kill it before it escapes. So it's kind of by keeping that range, you end up letting it escape. But yeah, it's either way here. It's a good control on the Tempest by Sharpened Edge, and I think oddly what Sputtle did in this game would have been better in the first game. Like making the tanks could have been better against the gateway units, but that's not what he's facing. And yeah.
Some great build order choices out of Sharpened Edge is going to take the win here. Man, Tempest really kill buildings slow until they get up that upgrade, don't they?
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
Victory! Oh, wait, did we get a win before the buildings died?
Yeah, I think he GG'd.
The buildings weren't dead.
Yeah, I think he laughed. Yeah, I think he laughed as soon as the CC died. There's a number of bots. We've talked about that before, too. Was it not? I thought that was like the frame it burned.
It just started blowing up. Yeah, I just watched the replay.
Yeah.
All right, anyway, that was a good series. We've got 2 completed best of 3s. We've got 2 bots already in the scrap pile. We haven't done that in a long time, where we're tossing out bots in day 1 here. But it was great to see a couple new bots. Don't get discouraged if your bot just got eliminated. We love seeing new bots every single season, and we always do. So definitely keep building and keep getting better, and you'll no doubt go through further in ProBots if you keep at it here. Mm-hmm. But we've got 2 bots already moved on. So Sharpened Edge and Rooro, right? Yeah, moving on.
Yep.
They're going to go up against Xena and Benbot. We'll check out the bracket a little bit later. But we're going to go to a fast break, I think, actually. We've got 2 more best of 3s coming up very shortly. So do stick around. Do check out all the links below us. Check out our new website as well. I think we have a new website.
ProBots. It's in the bottom left corner there. ProBotsAI.com.
ProBotsAI.com. Go check out the new website and check out our games here. This is our, again, first night of games. We've got 2 more best of 3s to qualify for next week. So we've got 12 bots going at it here, and then 4 bots will survive this whole rigmarole here, and they'll move on into the round of 8. So only 4 bots out of all these names are going to be moving on. So there's still a chance Sharpened Edge and Rooro even get knocked out. They're going up against a couple good bots. Anyway, we're going to go to a little 5-minute break here, and then we will be back on ProBots with more games. Thank you again, everybody, for tuning in to Season 3, our final season. Or wait, Season 2. Wait, yeah, because we only did 1 season earlier this year, right? Yeah, we're really mixing it up this time. We're really trying to confuse you. Anyway, it's the last season of the year. Thank you all for being here. Again, make sure you hit that little thumbs up if you haven't already. Get us a little bit of visibility on YouTube. And we'll see you after the break. And we're back. Welcome back, Ender Sword. Are you ready for more games?
Oh, I am very ready for more games. Maybe some longer ones.
Maybe. We'll see.
To say?
No promises here. Now, it's been a couple quick best of 3s to start things off, but we've got 2 more best of 3s coming your way. And Ender Sword, I am so excited for this one. Antibot is back. If you've been watching ProBots for a long time, you're probably familiar with Antibot. It's been on a little bit of a hiatus, but has come back to grace us with some fun games. Has always been one of my favorite bots to watch, so I'm particularly excited to see it go up against Octopus Octopus. Oh, I thought it was Octopus V3.
Octopus V3, yeah.
I thought it said Octopus,
also
like the James Bond thing.
Yeah,
for a second. I was like, what?
Basically. Yeah, and Octopus we've seen do a few fun things too, use carriers, things like that in the game. Antibot, like you said, one of the favorites from before, has done things like mass widow mines and some interesting builds like that. And it looks like from the stats of these two, they're relatively evenly matched, 52% to 48% on the ladder.
Excellent.
So so pretty
might get a
pretty
longer
good
game.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't think either of them are like super early game cheesy.
Yeah, no, and from what I've seen, I think I saw a little bit of what Antibot was working on was a little bit more tank marine type composition, so a lot more bigger army control, kind of like we've seen. Who was that other bot that had really? Was it Antibot? Maybe I'm just thinking of Antibot that did really good marine tank
bot.
Control.
That was your other favorite.
Bot. That's who I'm thinking of. Yeah, no, that's who I was thinking of. But yeah, kind of more of a little bit of a bot style where it is just very tank marine. I could be totally something different this time. That was just the last I saw a few weeks ago of Antibot. But anyway, I'm very excited to have it back here and going up against Octopus. I believe this is Octopus's second season here in ProBots.
Yeah.
So able to qualify 2 seasons in a row. Well done. And this should be a good match. Yeah, both these bots in Python as well. Oh, I didn't check. Do we have any notes on these two? I got 40 seconds to check. No, this is going to be a great match. Thank you, everybody, once again for being here. This is our last 2 best of 3s of the night, so make sure you tell everybody about ProBots. And if you're checking out the VOD, thank you for tuning in and watching.
Indeed. Even the voting on this one is 50-50 at the moment.
Nice. Yeah, get your vote in. Who do you want to win? Yeah. All right. So Antibot's special trait. I'm going to read it real quick. I got 20 seconds. Spaghetti code that somehow works. Annie has a lot of weird strategies. New crush, greed, 5 racks, all in, etc. So we're just going to get a grab bag of awesomeness here by the looks of it. I'll read a little bit more about Antibot. I just those first 2 were awesome here. But yeah, let's see what happens here. Antibot versus Octopus here on ProBots. Let's go.
Antibot. Octopus.
You know what Antibot stands for, right?
I forget.
Remember?
It does stand for something. Yeah, I don't remember.
I'll tell you all in case you didn't know. It has to do with the portrait there as well. It stands for Artificial No Intelligence Bot.
Right.
So a little bit of a self-deprecating bot, but still has some pretty good performance in the past, and I'm very excited to see what it can do here against Octopus, who potentially will be going straight carriers. Last season, that was its final update. Carriers. Yeah, I'm not paraphrasing.
It makes. I always wondered if it was just named after that, because carriers are basically octopuses with 4 or with the 8 interceptors. Yeah.
They're basically.
And I do remember
our space octopus.
Yeah,
you remember
pretty much. Yeah, they're space octopuses. What Sarsabot stood for? Do you remember?
State action response. State action.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Which is a type of, just a type. That is right. Yeah, it's just a type of machine learning. Yeah, that basically summed up what it did.
I remember things. Every now and
stuff.
Then. So actually, we did see Octopus. Yeah, we did see Octopus use oracles a little bit last season as well. So it might not be just carriers here, but I think we're going to go down the air route eventually. But I don't know.
I think so. Yeah,
we saw a lot of gateways coming down.
Sure.
We saw what?
As long as there's 8,
there's
I'm
a
happy.
delay between us.
I think there is too. I was going to say that when we're done. I'm like, we're talking over each other a lot, and then I hear you react like 2 seconds later. I think there is a delay
same
between
here.
us.
Okay, so that's why if we're talking over each other, we do apologize. There is a slight delay in our microphones for some reason. I thought I was going crazy or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it took me a second to clue into that, but I'm like, yeah. I think there's at least a full second between. But yeah, we'll figure that out for next time. I think I know why, and I think I know how we can fix it. So, and I'm sure they do too. So,
well, here's a 4-gate for you. Have a 4-gate Endersword just for you.
Indeed, 4 gates are fun. 4 gates are
now,
fun. I mean, we had 4-gate for a while.
We did, but Octopus should be doing the 8-gate, right?
Yeah, Octopus should be doing the 8-gate. There should definitely be more, but it's also doing 4-gate. But is there? There is a proxy, but there's no forward gate at the proxy, so it's going to be slow warp ends.
Well, at least it's there.
It is there. But I love the fast. You got to have the fast warp ends, yo.
Oh yeah, you have to for this kind of a thing. But here we go. Octopus going to kick it into gear. A lot of stalkers making their way across the map. Warp tech is now done, so we're going to see a chrono boost, and there's the first warp in on the front lines. Stalkers slowly grouping up here. Does any bot have anything at home to defend? I do see a couple or a Marine at a time. Okay, 8 Marines and a medevac. Looks like he maybe wanted to fly across. Oh, that was the other thing Anybot's been working on was medevac drop stuff. Oh yeah, I'm super excited to see that. If we get to see that here. We'll see. I don't know if the stalkers are going to let it happen. That's a lot of stalkers here.
It is. Yeah, you get 1 stalker per Marine is not usually a good position. The medevac helps a little bit, but not that much. They can just target fire each one down. Yeah.
Great positioning, too.
Yeah, we got
in case there was a tank or something.
Yeah. Yeah, approaching it like cautiously, just taking over this natural, and then we'll poke up here. No real like high ground vision, so it has to just kind of face check up top here, but late to come out with the STVs to repair, so we'll eventually take out that depot. Banshee out, and even though he says invisible units detected, it doesn't have cloak.
Oh boy, I think that's too many stalkers, Endersword.
Yeah, does appear to be a little too many. There's a single Hellion, maybe that'll save them.
These bots have no chill tonight. They're just attacking.
Yeah, they're just not patient. No patience
patient at all. Wow. All right. Well done. I was really hoping to see. Go ahead.
You've often got. It seems like one side keeps wanting to attack early, and the other side is building for some sort of later 2-base timing. Like here, we got 3 starports, but there's just no way you could get to whatever you're trying to get to and still defend yourself.
Yeah.
So they're just kind of relying on the passivity of the other bot. And I do think if there had not been an attack rate then, it felt like that there were 8 Marines and a medevac. I think Antibot was about to pick up and go, but never got the opportunity to do that. So,
yeah, just attack too soon. Very aggressive, these bots. All right, so I actually have a quick solution for our delay. I'm going to call you in Discord. We're going to mute the stream and then just talk in Discord. Because that like second delay is really messing with my brain here. So give us 1 second as we get that set up here, everybody. And we're going to also get our next game loaded up. We'll see if Antibot can maybe get to the later game. I'm really hoping to see some of the stuff Antibot has been working on this season. But Octopus is really coming in strong and looking really strong as well. So, if Octopus brings that type of aggression throughout the season, it's going to do well for him. Did the call work here? I started a call between us. There you go. All right, so now I'm going to mute.
Okay, yeah.
Or I'm going to
muted this.
Call. So make sure your mic's still unmuted in the...
I can see my thing lighting up.
Yeah, I hear you. Give me 1 sec. Okay, so now you're muted on the stream, but I can hear you in Discord.
I can't hear you on it.
You can't? Oh, it's because I'm pushed to talk. Can you hear me now? All right, give us 1 sec,
I don't see your
everybody.
thing lighting up either.
Hold on. Wait for it. Voice video. Voice activity. Okay, there.
Yeah, okay. Now I can hear you. Yeah, we're good. Okay, that should be better.
Good, just in time for Game 2. Thank you for bearing with us, everybody. Let's go ahead and hop into it and see what happens. Maybe.
We once again lose games. We lose game sound by doing this yet again, but we'll see.
That's fine. I don't...
Yeah.
Any bot. Octopus.
Is the antibot cheesing? Oh my god, it gets scouted instantly if so.
Yeah.
Take it easy. The lead will be sure shortly.
Well, and who was trying to cheese that? Because it was Octopus sent out. That would be really cool if that was just a probe sent out specifically to stop those two guys.
I think it was just to scout it, but since nothing was building, it didn't
really
register a threat, maybe?
Yeah, maybe. So he doesn't even know that's there, even though he caught him red-handed.
Because he was looking for buildings, not workers necessarily.
And he was essentially like 2 seconds too early.
Oh my gosh, is anybody going to get away with this?
Well, even it's down to what he's known to detect. Because, I mean, obviously to 2 SCVs, to any person that is obviously your cheesing.
Oh, yeah. You know
but
exactly
does he realize it without seeing the actual buildings?
I don't think so. I think it was looking specifically for if a building had been down, it would have triggered a response.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm getting proxied or something, I feel like.
Yeah. So this is, as you mentioned, there was the 5 racks build, which is what I assume this is. But yeah, he's patrolling
echoing
out.
from yours. I think I'm echoing from yours.
Oh yeah, maybe. Oh yeah, because Discord, it was always a problem.
I'll just turn me down a little or something.
Yeah.
Here we thought we were so clever and had such a good fix.
Well, it's hard to fix on the fly.
That's all right. Well, sorry for the echo, everybody, if that's what you're hearing.
Let me see if I can turn you down.
All right, well, here comes the Assault Antibot coming in hot. The lead is going to be served. It's really bad. Okay, let's just go back to the normal call, Endersword.
Okay.
All right.
Is it any better now?
Is it any better now?
Oh,
here comes the worker defense. Nope. Okay, we're going back to the normal call. I'll meet you.
All right, fine.
And I'm back. Okay, here we go, everybody. The workers.
All right, so yeah, the workers there, not quite clearing.
The Marines come in and do a lot of damage. Hold on, I can't hear you.
Yeah. Getting into a better. There's only a few Marines left. The stalkers themselves doing okay, but unfortunately he's lost so much economy that there's a bunch of gateways here, but they're not doing anything because he can't afford to build it.
Oh yeah, his economy's been gutted. Not totally gutted, but they're not working. Half of his workers aren't even mining right now.
Yeah. He'll get another one out.
There's plenty more lead.
Yeah, and Warp Gate will finish, but he's not going to have any money to do anything with it.
Antibot coming in hot, bringing things back around for what could be our first ace match of the night. And I can hear Drek for some reason, so I think the stream can too. By the way.
Yeah, I think so.
Hey Drek, how you doing? How you doing there, buddy? Say hi to Drek, everybody. He's here with us. Yeah, that's going to be game 2. So Antibot will tie things up. I really like that he switched it up for game 2 here. Again, just showing that there are quite a few years of experience behind Antibot. So I'm not surprised to see multiple builds and just multiple ways to deal with things here out of him.
I love that the
really,
SCVs
really
came in.
Yeah, we've got a match on our
This
hands.
is why these two are so we first like ace match, which you love, and this shows kind of their ratio on the ladder, how clearly they go back and forth a bit. Yeah,
indeed.
So definitely good.
All right, well, hopefully things sound good now. We are getting game 3 loaded up, our first ace match of the night. And I have no idea who's gonna take it here. I'm gonna be happy with either bot moving on, because both bots have really impressed me in the past, and last season we saw Octopus do really well, and definitely showing up this season. So I think either bot's gonna do well, whichever one moves on. But it is kind of sad to see such an early elimination of such a good bot, you know. Whoever it may be. But yeah, these two very evenly matched, putting on the pressure. I like it.
Yeah.
And, that's all I have to say. I'm ready for game 3, Undersword.
Me too, quite frankly. I mean, again, we're getting we haven't had like a macro game yet, really. Most we've seen is 2 bases from pretty much anyone. And it kind of seemed like if you're the guy that built the second base, you lose so far.
Yeah.
But a little, really, really close there. I do wonder what the result may have been if Octopus had done that scout like 2 seconds later and saw the start of 2 barracks, whether that would have triggered a different response. Although what he did with like building a bunch of gateways wasn't exactly wrong or anything. So I don't know what he would have done different had he known exactly what was coming. Shield battery, I guess, but
yeah, maybe
just build, like, if you know someone's going to hit you with a bunch of Marines, a bunch of stalkers is fine. It's just I mean, shield battery helps, I guess.
Indeed. Yeah, a lot of updates here from Antibot. I'm just kind of looking at some of these other updates. Units work in groups now. It's a lot of bug fixes mostly, but it's looking good. I'm really excited. All right, the timer's just jumping all over the place, so I'm going to go ahead and say we are ready with game number 3 here, our ace match. Let's go.
Antibot. Octopus.
Again, out of Antibot, bring up the chat. It was I saw it, but then it like disappeared right as I saw it. CC first. There it is. Okay, but only 20% confidence level in that CC first.
Fair enough.
I go for
just
this probably won't work, but I'm going to do it anyway. I guess that's where the artificial no intelligence comes in.
Could be the highest one still. There was one that often would show you multiple builds and then kind of give a percentage to each of those. But given that Antibot has quite a number of builds, it could be that 20% was the highest out of the list.
That's a good point.
Is taking it.
You can see the speed mining here on Antibot. Most bots have that equipped. I think there's a few that don't do it still. And it doesn't seem like it's been a super game-changing thing just yet. Yes, it will speed things up. Yes, it will give you an edge if you have it and the other bot doesn't. But I personally haven't seen an egregious example of, oh, this bot is speed mining, so it just crushes this other bot, you know?
Yeah.
I just don't think it's that big of an advantage.
Only if you're doing it on, I think, tight builds, basically, and then maybe mirror matchups. Like, the first one to develop it, obviously, like Scarlet and 4-Gate bot, the whole idea was to hit the sharpest possible foregate that you could. And so it makes a big difference there. If you're a little more meandering, then maybe it doesn't. Although some stuff, like say seeing that 7 racks, my initial thought was like, you can't afford 7 racks as a person, but you probably can as a bot. So that's probably why we ended up seeing that sort of thing. So, and it also lets you get away with, as much as it increases your total speed, you can also use it to then end up needing less SCVs to do the same stuff. So you can devote more of them to gas and get away with more building on that side than that you usually want to be able to do.
Yeah, for sure. All right,
so,
well,
yeah, it just makes a few builds possible that are otherwise impossible.
For sure. Yeah, I could see that.
But yeah, it looks like we might get a macro game.
Yeah, definitely more of a macro game here. 2 base. Once again, no cheeses. Antibot tied things up. Is totally content trying to win a nice standard game. So we might get to see that marine drop shenanigans that I was hoping for in game 1. We do have an engineering bay coming down, probably just for missile turrets, maybe some marine upgrades. But that starport on the way. We're going to have to wait and see if that does indeed build medevacs. I think it will. That's my prediction.
Yeah, I would think so too. That seemed to be the direction Antibot was going in the first game, but just never got to do it.
Yeah.
And then it had looked like he was going into Cloak. Obviously, he had three starports by the end of it. And we're getting a fleet beacon on Octopus's side.
We're going to air units. Yep. Yeah, we'll see if this Oracle can do anything. Again, Oracle's very hit or miss. They either do really well or nothing at all in ProBots. So let's see here. At least we've got Oracles that do something now. So that's a big change.
Very true. Yeah. But exactly. just like this first super popular TikTok song, it is hit or miss.
What was the first?
We'll see. There.
Do I even want to know?
No, that was the lyric, and it was actually called me a Khalifa, but the lyric that was popular was hit or miss. But it looks like it's going to sit there for now. I think he used this actually, if I remember from last season, wasn't actually as offensive with it and used it for the revelation. And the revelation allowed him to get extra range sight to then complement in the tempests.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's what he's using the Oracle for again, then I think that's actually a pretty good use of it. Plus, you've kind of got your Stargate up while you're waiting for the beacon. Okay, I like this too. The stasis at your own front door is pretty interesting. Although it's so around your own building, it's almost hard to trigger. But yeah.
Yeah, I guess against maybe Zerg or something, that'd be better.
Yeah, you'd eventually
but it will buy time
exactly.
should it get activated.
Yeah.
Just about buying some time here. Now, I wish more Oracles would use stasis just everywhere. They're great scouts. They slow things down.
Yeah.
They screw up the other bots so much because basically I've never thought of that. How does the bot register it when your units get put in stasis? Does it count them as can you still, because you can't select them when they're in stasis even, right? Or wait, can you? No, I think you can.
I think you can select them. You just obviously can't.
Does the bot just sit there and keep trying to use the units, or does it recognize you have to probably put something specific, being
it must know that there's some status. Yeah, it must know there's some status.
Can it not even know? You're just like, I have a unit, but it doesn't do anything. Yeah. I don't know. I've never thought of that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. How a bot sees it. Again, some people in chat might know how that is, but there must be a factor, like something that you can detect on it.
Well, here come a lot of carriers.
Whether it knows,
see a big old carrier ball here. Whether it knows what?
Whether it knows the timer too. Because sometimes
yeah.
I think people had, like, for instance, when you get hit by something like a storm, it knows that you've been hit, but it doesn't really know, like, okay, there's 2 seconds left on the storm or something. So if you've been hit by the stasis, do you know you've been hit, but do you know when it's off? Because, of course, players will wait, like, okay, it's almost off. I got to get my guys out of there, reinforce them, or whatever.
Well, I'm sure, again, they can see it because there's a little debuff or whatever on the unit, right? When it gets stasis,
Yeah, there's like a little timer like you're seeing on this. Yeah. I just don't quite know how it registers it, right?
Yeah. Something for the bot authors
so they have a negative buff on them. But you probably need
at least Annie-bot is going Vikings right now. Oh my gosh. I would be so worried if Annie-bot wasn't going Vikings. They are they? Well, at least they're
just they're just chilling on the ground, but they're there.
Yeah, he's building more, so we're gonna need a lot of Vikings here. A lot of Vikings. Oh,
yeah, they're just letting each other build up.
It just got put. I thought it got triggered.
I think stasis with like a longer timer would be a little more interesting because they're not really long enough that you just place them somewhere for like the long game. And maybe they don't, like, I know in the real game people don't want like 50 of them around the map, but they feel a little short to me. Because it would be cool to like put them in strategic places for like 2 minutes later. And I think they're not quite long enough.
Yeah. Well, send that note over to the balance team. Apparently, they're still working hard on things. So maybe they'll change it for you.
Get on it. It'll be like this isn't for you humans. This is for bot play. I want to see it.
I like how the bots are just telling us what. Just stasis words everywhere.
I kind of like that too. If people didn't catch that, there, Octopus was saying. Basically, there are times that it decides it wants to do something, but if it has just continued to build normally, then it's like, I want an expansion, but my minerals never get high enough because I'm pumping out units. So it basically says, okay, put a lock on, don't spend minerals until I start the base. Okay, now lock off, go back to normal. Because you can see Octopus's minerals, keeping them very consistently low. So if you wanted to expand, he just never would be able to.
Here we go, Ender Sword. Our no rush 10 minutes is almost over. Octopus is going to push across. I love the agreement they both had. Yeah, this was a legit NR 10-minute. No rush 10-minute rule. Oh, Annie-bot attacked a few seconds too early.
It's true.
Cheating.
It's true. He should have taken out the rocks in that extra time.
Yeah,
he should actually still take out the rocks because that's going to be a problem for him as this comes in to engage.
Here we go. Tempest, the Marines are not afraid of anything.
No.
I don't think it matters. I think Annie-bot's just going to crush through.
Well, and you see he's doing kind of what I was talking about in our first series. The Marines should be moving forward and attacking under, and that's exactly what they're doing to great success at the moment.
Yeah, all the interceptors are pretty much dead. Vikings can now come in safely, just taking a few Tempest shots, but they're going to be able to start doing massive damage to this air army. Thor's also getting some juicy shots on the Tempests. I think this actually will get held, but some massive damage coming in here from Annie-bot. Going to be able to slow down the expansions of Octopus as well.
Yeah, let's see if he gets a lot of the carriers. The interceptors were wiped out, but they rebuild relatively quickly. And I don't think he had, I don't know if he has it or didn't use it, but I didn't see stim being used on the Marines, which is
I don't think he
difference.
Has it. Yeah. Did he even get stim? Yeah, he doesn't even have stim.
Did not
Straight
get stim.
armor upgrades.
Because I think that would have been that many Marines against that stuff, if they stemmed forward, would have been a wipeout. The Vikings still doing well. They may pick up, but they're targeting interceptors.
Interceptors, yeah.
Yeah, that's weird. I mean, they rebuild relatively quick, and there were a lot of low carriers. It may still work out because he is, taking out a bunch of them and then getting reinforcements back as well, attacking into these other positions.
Well, he's shutting down expansions as well.
Yeah.
That's huge, because no minerals means no more interceptors.
Yeah, if he just holds these in place, he may get enough damage down on the fringes.
Yeah, everything's targeting the interceptors when it should be. Yeah, priority.
Yeah. Yeah, so if the Thors were new to go after the carriers, like how easily they took them out once the interceptors weren't on them. Yeah, but it looks like he's just going to kind of slowly strangle him here.
Yeah, wow, great build out of Octopus. Could be.
Yeah, it could be much more optimal on Annie's side, but it's still enough. Had he had stim at the beginning, that wouldn't have even been close. Just stim the Marines forward, wipe out.
And then the interceptors would have melted, and
both the Vikings and Thors here, if they knew to attack the carriers first, that would have been more destructive. But in either case, he's backing them up, and I think he's going to make a stand here again as, the interceptors just rebuild so quickly, but he's eventually going to be taken down.
Yeah, hell of a skirmish here, though. The interceptors are definitely pulling their weight, just because of the targeting out of Antibot, giving them a little bit extra, giving those carriers a little extra time to keep building more interceptors and keep fighting. And a great build out of Octopus, really strong, really thought out build here, but just, I don't know, you need something to deal with all the mass Vikings, I guess, at this point. I guess the carriers can deal with it. It's just a matter of having enough bases. I don't know what Octopus could really do differently to change this drastically. He is actually pushing this back a bit, which is surprising.
Yeah, very often what you need for this sort of thing, like you're fine in the air, but it's having something to then deal with the below, and there's a couple ways to do that. So either you just have, 20 zealots with you, because he's not really at max supply or anything. And if you just have that below, then you're fine, because nothing can camp under you. The other option that you see in more high-level play is having High Templar. And that can be harder for bots to control. But, if you just have High Templar to storm anything kind of squishy that would run towards you, and also tends to work well for Vikings, then that sort of thing's an option as well. Because I think if you have that charge in and Marines coming in and you just storm them, then that's fine. Disruptor's another thing, but that's, again, really hard.
Oh, the humanity. Oh, these poor probes getting gunned down in their prime. What a brutal way to go. Yeah, it should be pretty much it. Octopus carriers with a valiant stand here, but not enough. Not quite enough.
I think he'll clean up this part because, they're just too slow at taking these out.
Well, that's because a lot of the army, I think, got pulled back to the main base for Antibot.
Yeah,
here it comes. Battlecruiser's coming down.
Yeah, the BC's coming in with Yamato, I think, potentially down there. Observer was showing us before. It's what's funny is as the other units come in and the interceptors stop attacking them, then the Thors start attacking the carriers.
It is interesting. So it is a priority thing. It sees, if this is attacking me, it's a more of a threat, so I should attack.
That seems
the interceptor.
Yeah, seems to be it. Yeah. There maybe is a proximity thing, or I don't know. Because you can't.
Not getting attacked. It's like, I can target that because I'm safe.
Yeah, because you can't literally target interceptors. You must be auto attacking to do it.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, they changed it so you can't target them anymore. That's right.
Yeah, you can't literally target it. So, so that's weird. But there we go. Good series.
Well done.
Good best of three going to the third game. Yeah. And Octopus, again, that was the second season, and we will have him knocked out again. But there's definitely a lot of potential in that bot, and so we hope to continue to see Octopus V3, maybe V4 by next season or something. But hope to continue to see that one because there's a lot of cool stuff going on there. I like I like the Oracle play. I like the carrier play. I always love carrier play. Things like that just need to smooth out some edges or add in more like contingencies of how do you behave, and how do you maybe mix in some other units to make that stronger and take care of some of the weaknesses, because it's a good macro bot and it's a good just some good strategies.
I liked your High Templar idea, especially if you see a lot of Marines getting created, because that can be, again, a counter to carriers. Early enough in the game, you get enough Marines, you just get under them, they die. You got one storm, all the Marines are just dead. Even if you don't kill them with the storm, the carriers then just boop, 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 one shot each Marine, done. So I think a little bit of a mix-up, just add a little bit more into that composition. You've got a really strong scary bot there, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. That was kind of like the pro metagame maybe like 2.5 years ago, when they were doing all the Oracle mass Oracle openings into Carrier Tempest. They often were then using Phoenix or High Templar below as the defender, because you couldn't afford a lot of supply to take care of it, but you needed something that was just a deterrent to getting jumped on, and that was essentially
exactly. It's a zone. It's a controlling thing. You know, even if you're not doing tons of damage with it, you're forcing Marines to pull back or split. You're forcing Vikings to keep their distance, because the Vikings will, sometimes naturally clump up towards a unit. So the storms are very good at zoning things out in that kind of a composition.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, well, let's get our next best of 3 loaded up here. Our final one. We got one more. Who do we got last here?
So we've got
Dominion
familiar dog in a hat, by Team Dominion Dog, Fidelina. Relatively high elo, still a dog in a hat. This one is coded in Java
for you guys.
Oh yeah.
Just so our team knows there, a little spelling typo.
Yeah.
Dominion Dog. In Java, one of our few Java bots. I think Ketrock's the other Java bot, right? And
I think so.
There might be a third one. Maybe not this season, but Dominion Dog has always given us a really good performance. I'm really excited to see what he's going to bring here. Definitely can go into the later game scenarios. Has some really good builds. Blink.
Is Blink just renamed?
Oh wait, this image.
That picture
was.
We've seen that picture before, and it was this.
But the author's different too. The author's just a bunch of numbers.
Yeah, so I don't know whether we just got the wrong picture, because that was the picture for just a worker rushing bot.
Maybe it's the same author. So, it could be.
Yeah, maybe. So
we don't have any notes on it. All we know, it's in .NET Core. So whatever bot was in .NET Core last season.
Cool.
There was one. Oh, it's the wrong picture. Okay, so ignore the picture.
Okay, wrong picture. Yeah. Makes sense. So still because that was for a rushing bot. ELO 1776 in honor of America.
Good year.
And their independence, I think. And so curious. So we don't really know. Obviously, from the name Blink, I would have expected we're going to see some Blink play. So that Blink play is always fun.
We'll find out. All right. Well, thank you once again, everybody, for being here. This is our final best of 3 of the night. One more time, hit that little thumbs up if you haven't already. Get us a little bit more visibility on YouTube so more people can come in and watch these awesome bots. This is the future of StarCraft. These bots are taking over the scene slowly but surely. Let's go ahead and hop into our last best of 3. Dominion Dog versus Blink. Let's go.
Dominion Dog. Blink.
Who he's up against, apparently.
Seems so. Seems so. At least knows.
Is that the that's the hit list? Those are the first targets that Blink is going to go after. Those are
we already see
he just predicted.
On it. maybe knows.
Predicted
Well, we see a
SCVs coming
proxy
over.
pylon out, so maybe Dominion Dog knows that there's something coming. Second pylon. Then
It looks
a
like Dominion
gateway.
Dog's doing a cheese of his own, though.
Yeah, Dominion Dog
Right? It has to be.
has been known to like 2 racks, I think, but yeah, I don't know. It feels a tiny bit later to do that. Yeah, he is going to 3 racks.
Huh.
It feels a little late.
Hell of a way to start things off this season.
Yeah, both a little late and a little far away. I think with these two facing each other, I've got to imagine the 4 gate generally is a little bit stronger, but you could end up getting one of these situations again where they kind of pass each other in the night, and you end up just killing each other's mineral lines.
Yeah, this could pan out in a lot of different ways, because you're right in saying that the Protoss units are stronger than a few Marines just because they have shields. They can kite away, regain their shields. So they could win in a straight-up fight. But if Dominion Dog can get into the main and kill the base and all the workers, and then maybe somehow keep those units alive to get over to kill the other Protoss buildings, all he's got to do is lift a building and fly it out, and Blink can't kill it.
Yeah, the flying.
At the worst
is really
case scenario,
the
it's a tie for Dominion.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, not only is there not a cyber core, there's no gas being taken at all for Blink. So Blink, clearly a deceptive name. So he can't even transition out into anything. There's also another little thing, which is maybe he's doing it for organizational purposes, but he did not start the first zealot until the 4th gateway was done. There was time to get more zealots out, so I think probably to sync them up, but I think that's going to potentially cost, because he could, it doesn't, I don't know if he will on time, but he could just repair here, and that's it.
I think Dominion Dog's got it. Just the fact there's no stalkers, the Marines could actually kite the zealots indefinitely. If done correctly, because you just have one lead them around. That's a lot of zealots, though. That being said,
it is a lot of zealots, but they're never going to get it. If these guys don't want to let them in, they're never going to get it.
Yeah, I don't think they will. It's costing a lot of money in repairs, but that doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's fine compared to his economy of 0. It's perfectly fine.
It's pretty good.
No.
Yeah, I think Dominion Dog's got it. There's just enough Marines out now too. He should be able to easily kite these zealots, even if they do break through somehow. But I think they're actually going to see the buildings and go kill the buildings.
They're doing some work on that middle one. Yeah, they're going to get.
Oh, they got through. What just happened? They looked away for a second and they break through.
He pulled the SCVs back. I don't know why, but a lot of bots do that. Yeah, it's fine.
Stop
but a lot of bots do that, where it for whatever reason, the SCVs that are repairing just stop and let something die.
That's weird.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think our game end is going to be here when the buildings die. So, what's that?
Yeah. Well, just that he might take these out before the zealots even respond. They're not even attempting to go back to stop this from happening.
I almost feel like they wouldn't. How we see bots sometimes just attack straight to the main and that's it.
Yeah,
I get the vibe these zealots are just told to go to the main. So
yeah, I think so.
I don't think it'd matter. But either way,
I think they may view it. Yeah, they may view it too as like, okay, I'm in a base race. Like, continue to do this. And it didn't look like he was lifting off his command center either. It was still being attacked at the end, but yeah, there we go. So Dominion Dog takes the first one. Just kind of ships passing in the night there. I don't know whether Blink would have, I don't think it would have made a difference had he made zealots as soon as possible. Then he could have got there before that ramp wall was even done and got in. But I think ultimately the result's the same.
Indeed. All right. Well, showing up is Blink for his debut here, and these cheesy builds can do really well, and they can get you through a round or two sometimes. But once you get up to a certain stage, it's just not going to work anyway. So definitely a lot of growth to be had here out of Blink, but we've got a solid start. If you can proxy and put on some pressure like that, you're starting off pretty good. That is definitely a great way to start off on the ladder, because a lot of bots can't hold that kind of pressure. That is a very aggressive, hard to hold thing. So, Dominion Dog's just been around a long, long time. Usually doesn't have any problems dealing with cheeses like that. So,
yeah, now I want to see if Dominion Dog does the same thing, but maybe Blink changes it up. If we get kind of Dominion Dog cheesing into a more standard build, how does that work out?
We'll find out here. Game number 2. I'm sorry, game number 2 is ready. Let's go.
Dominion Dog. Blink.
The SCV's coming out. Dominion Dog is going to cheese again, but Blink is not, as the buildings are being constructed at home. How quickly will he start to make units out of it? He's gotten gas this time, 2 gas. Stalkers, definitely a good way to hold. Shield batteries, good way to hold.
There's a lot of things you could do to hold this. Absolutely. Yeah, I like that Blink switching it up and doing something a little bit more defensive instead of just... that already shows way more depth. Which I think is very important if you're going to be in ProBots. You got to have a few builds. At the very least, you got to be able to switch it up. Awesome that Blink is recognized. Okay, my proxy didn't work. Let's try something else, and we'll see if it pans out.
Scouts it out. Yeah, unfortunately not. He may go to the other side and scout, although he may meet a wall on the other side and not know what's up. No, unfortunately, again, nothing building out of the first 2 gateways. 2 zealots, or even just 1, would be invaluable. As 3 Marines are going to make it in. I expect a couple stalkers to start after the cyber is done. There they are. But is it going to be in time? The 3 Marines do have to kind of go a little bit of a distance. They're not super close, but they'll get up the ramp before the stalkers are ready.
Just barely. I think the stalkers are going to be able to hold this. I think he's fine. Just the fact he went stalkers instead of zealots is so important.
Yeah. It's more, will he get supply blocked or anything bad? Will he lose these units?
He's going to lose a couple workers. That's not good. Oh, wow, the Marines just gunning down the workers. They don't care about the stalkers at all. Okay, he's going to get a few worker kills, but here we go. This should be held now.
He is making 1 more stalker, but then a robo. But I think that's probably okay.
That's a proxied robo.
Yeah,
Speaking of,
I like this more now.
Yeah, okay.
So this will give him options to counterpunch once he stabilizes, if he does. I don't know what the hell he's doing.
Brilliant.
What is going on? Okay,
this Marine is chasing a stalker out of the base.
No, they're trying to go to that other spot.
Oh yeah, they're trying to get to the proxy.
Yeah.
I should be fine. He's got enough stalkers tripling out. He's going to be able to.
Yeah, he'll be okay. But is he ever going to realize where these are coming from?
Yeah, if he follows them up there, or if he can follow the trail up there.
Yeah, sometimes you get that. See, the moment it's safe, he's going to try and move them. But that may be fine. If he gets enough over to then attack, that's fine too. But the threat is that he'll stop building any at home.
Oh, you're right. He is stopped building at home and just going to
Yeah.
have warpins on the front line, meaning his workers are exposed and very vulnerable. So we are going to... Actually, it's going to pull the whole army back. We talked about this a lot. How just
Sending
one or
some
two
back is
units
the
can
warp.
pull the
Okay.
whole army back.
Yeah, well, which is good in this case, because the real threat was that he didn't do that. And
well, is there any defense for Dominion Dog on his side?
No, there's a wall.
Okay,
that's about it.
Kind of.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh well, the Immortal's going to put on the pressure while the Stalkers go home and defend. That's also awesome.
Yeah, started to get barracks at home. That's good. I feel like this is all almost accidentally good for Blink. Like, despite everything he's trying to do, it's working out.
Yeah.
Because
he's keeping most of his units alive, so...
Yeah. Yeah, they're staying alive because they're not going to lose to Marines. And they're just kind of all over the map because they're trying to be where they're not, but they keep getting pulled back to where they don't want to go. And yeah, this is
so all this being said, Dominion Dog is still up in supply.
Yeah. Up in supply. He's not up in army, though, anymore. And I don't know that anything is going to take out an Immortal ever.
Oh, none of this. Yeah, Marines trickling out. That's never going to,
Yeah.
Well, you know, maybe he can get into the main and stop this long enough for a Banshee to come out or something. Is there even a starport out?
I don't think so.
Oh, no, he has a parry. There, right as I say, he threw one down.
Okay. That's the one. Okay, yeah.
Ah, there would be one coming down.
Fine. With the Immortal, at least should be able to break the wall.
Army's dead even. Where's the whole army? Okay, it's here in the main. So he does get into the main. So that is it for Blink's army. I don't think we're going to see any more units be able to be constructed, while Dominion Dog will be able to get a few more as he still has a little bit of mining. Oh, this is going to be close. This is going to be really close. I think that Immortal's just going to reign supreme, though. With the War Prism as well, there's nothing that's going to kill it.
Yeah, no. And luckily he's got the ability to shoot up. So if things float away, then he's going to be all right. It'll take a while, though. And it'll depend a little. Does he come back to defend his proxy buildings?
Yeah, it's going to come down to who can kill whose proxy first, I think.
Yeah. Like, mistakes could make either side lose. But if you plunk these... If you took both of these and put them in hands of 4-year-olds, the 4-year-old controlling the Protoss would win. But let's see if AI can mess it up, because it's not unprecedented.
I think this AI is at least at a 6-year-old. At least at a 6-year-old intelligence.
Well, there's also, I don't know on this map well enough if there's a place that a building can hide that cannot be hit. I think there might be.
Right there.
Yeah, like there.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah. That should not be hittable.
Right there.
If it knows that to go to that spot, or if it just gets corralled there by accident, then that's a problem. Blink does not know what to do right now, so this is kind of what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It still has to make valid actions, and it is not currently doing so.
Oh, it doesn't even... Okay, oh no, that's Dominion Dog's vision, I'm sorry. I'm not too worried. Dominion Dog knows how to go around the map and find buildings that are hidden. I don't think
Dominion Dog I'm not worried about. It's Blink that I'm worried about. He should be seeing them now, because they should be revealed. Because the command center's dead.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, both bots should see everything,
But the real thing will be, eventually, Dominion Dog's army is going to approach these buildings and attack it. Will Blink defend it? And does Blink
here we go. I thought
Blink
was broken.
Yeah. But does Blink have enough in one place to stop this attack? So that's not an insignificant number of Marines. If the two armies fought, Blink wins. But they're not going to fight as an army.
What is Dominion Dog doing now? I thought, there's a stalker screwing him up.
Yeah.
Because it comes into vision, and he's like, I'll get him. But then it goes up the ramp and out of vision. And it's got the Marines in a limbo of just... Oh my... This is ridiculous. This is the most ridiculous ending. Okay. Dominion Dog has a ton of time because he can lift his building, so it's all about his army. He needs to keep his Marines safe and alive and together. And he needs to go kill Blink's buildings if he wants to win.
This is going to pull him out? Okay. He's broke his stun lock.
Oh, if he could get the Immortal, that's huge. If he jumps on this Immortal, both bots a little too afraid to attack into each other here. Dominion Dog doesn't want to go up the ramp. Blink doesn't want to attack into the Marines. Marines are getting split up a little bit. He kind of knows where he wants to go, and now they get there. So they're going to get there. Yeah, he gets there.
They're now on the buildings.
Oh, wow. It just took a little
Stalker
bit. The Stalker actually panics.
Stalker's not attacking.
I think Dominion Dog's got it.
Yeah, Dominion Dog wins just because Blink will not engage.
This was such a close ending. I can't believe how close this got. Blink had victory within its grasp. It was so close. Yeah. Had it just united its army and just attacked into the Marines.
Immortal is there, and it's refusing to fire.
Yeah, this could be something about losing the main base. Because right about the time the main base went down was right about when Blink was like, what do I do? So sometimes with the newer bots, they rely on that base sometimes.
Well, and we saw earlier, you commented even, there's more than one bot that GG's the moment it loses all of its bases.
Yeah.
And this is why that would be bad if you were to do that.
You GG on that last one, yeah.
Yeah.
That'd have been
horrible.
Horrible.
Exactly. They would have. I think in this case, Dominion Dog would have been the one that GG'd when it shouldn't have. But luckily does not have that coding and did not decide to surrender. Interesting play out. That's about as AI as you get. In terms of dancing and little triggers and what makes you do this and what makes you do that. I hate when we see that of units that really want to go somewhere and just won't fire. The Immortal, I don't know where the Immortal wanted to be, but it wasn't where it wanted to be and would not shoot back. I think if that Immortal or the other two Stalkers, had just shot back, they might have whittled that down enough to just kill the whole army and then do whatever.
Oh, totally. Because the Stalkers have shields; they can kite and regenerate. The Marines cannot. So on paper, the Protoss should have won that engagement. Absolutely. But well done again. Just shows the experience Dominion Dog has. It's been around for multiple seasons, and I'm definitely excited to see more of Blink in the future. Though already has a couple builds under its belt, can bring on the pressure against a really good bot like Dominion Dog. So good showing. It was fun stuff. All right. That's our game. Those are our games, Endersword. That's our first night of games here. So we have 4 bots already in the scrap pile. So sorry to see you go so soon, but you all gave us a really good performance. Smoothbrain, Sputtle, Octopus, and Blink. Awesome stuff tonight. Some really cool builds, really good ideas coming out of you, and hopefully we'll see you in future seasons. But we've got next week's matchups already figured out. So we've got Xena versus Rooro, Benbot versus Sharpened Edge. A couple veterans going at it. Connie Nana versus Annie-Bot. That should be a really good one. Zerg finally coming into play there. And then Micro Machine versus Dominion Dog. A Terran versus Terran. We've seen these two go up against each other before, and it's usually a slugfest. So that should be a really good matchup.
Indeed. Yeah, I think the matches will just kind of get better and better throughout this and eventually into the group. So yeah, definitely tune into us next week. And the 4 that were out today, I hope we see them again, particularly Octopus, I think. It's kind of a tough one there, losing 2-1. Has shown a lot of promise in last season as well.
Yeah, great stuff tonight. Thank you, bot authors, for all of your hard work. You have given us some amazing bots. I am so excited to watch the season pan out. Again, we're mixing things up. We're doing a new format. So in case you missed our explanation of that earlier, we'll talk about it again next week. But we've got kind of a group or a qualification stage, then a group stage, and then like the final bracket stage. So we're kind of doing it in a few different stages here. And again, we'll go more in depth into that next week, or you can find a posting of it somewhere on our website. Yeah, go to our website if you haven't already, ProBotsAI.com, right below me there. Check us out. Support us if you want to see more ProBots in the future. And supporters, you will have access to PostBots. Once again this season, we'll be doing some more PostBot shows where we have bot authors come on and we talk to them about their bots and various AI-related subjects and things like that. It's usually a lot of fun. So definitely check it out if you need more ProBots content. Endersword,
yeah.
Good job. Did you have fun?
I did have fun. Once we fixed, well, we still haven't quite fixed the sound issue, but we'll
I'm watching
time.
the stream. Everything I say is delayed on the stream. Everything you say is perfectly synced up. Is it the same for you, where everything you like when you talk, is it delayed, but when I'm speaking, it looks in sync?
I don't know. I was thinking from like the very first scene that we did with like Drekken, like I said something, then there was like a second long gap, and then he reacted. So I don't know.
Okay, so we've got some delay to figure out for sure.
We'll have to test it. Yeah.
We'll get it worked out. We'll get the kinks worked out.
Yeah.
May just be the program, or we're using a new program. So thank you for bearing with us, everybody. Hopefully we will see you again next week, same time, same place, as we go into 4 more best of 3s with these amazing bots that have been handcrafted and are doing so well. Go check out aiarena.net. That's where all these bots come from. I think that's it. Shout out to our production. We've got a couple new production guys in the background. Make sure you send them your level. We'll introduce them next week once we've got a little more time. But yeah, thank you all for being here. See you next week, and have a good night. Can they hear me still?